And we're live. What's going on, everybody?
What up?
We got goods in the house. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, guys? We got a special episode today. We're doing a male self improvement show. This is going to be really unique and awesome. We got a really good guy in the house. We got goods. Thank you for coming, bro.
Appreciate you for having me, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. But yeah, number one show in the world for dating right here, guys. Please make sure to like the video on y'all's way in. Please subscribe. Please follow us on the podcast Instagram as well, where we are now live to Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, and YouTube. And go sign up for my new coaching link below if you want my personal help. Our new Patreon is also there. If you want to see some girls getting kicked out, go support. Or you can hit the join button right here under the YouTube video and become a member. You get some really cool emojis for the live show if you do that. Also, new shirts are out, so check out that merch store. And we're now streaming on all the audio platforms as well, guys. Make sure to add the Instagram right now, though. Please, please, please. Shout out to my producer tonight. We just got Donnie, man. Thank you so much.
Let's go, Donnie.
Yeah. And guys, just so y'all know, Goods is actually one of our biggest, our sponsors, one of our biggest recruiters. He does a lot of work behind the scenes. He's actually probably half of Purple Pill Pod that nobody knows about. He's the silent investor that a lot of people don't know about. But yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself, bro, so people can learn about you more. I mean, you've been on the show, but so they can learn more.
Yeah. So if you guys don't remember, my name is Call Me Goods on IG. Go by Goods. I'm pretty much your stylist or your favorite stylist. You know, just wanted to do a shameful plug for my boys, handkerchiefs for all the guys, because we're gonna be talking about self improvement today, self improvement for men today. One of the things that you really want to do as a man: get a handkerchief, get you a suit, get you some nice shoes. And that's gonna get you all the hoes. So that's me.
Awesome.
Call me Goods. We're gonna have a good show today, right?
Yep,
I love
for
it.
sure, bro. I'll go ahead and get right. I'll go ahead and get to the first question. What do you think is the biggest mistake that men are making right now when it comes to style? Like, what do you think is something that every guy, you would say, or most guys, are falling short on?
So I would say that the biggest mistake is, well, actually there's two, but I'm just gonna go with the very first one. Trying to buy for occasions. So what a lot of guys tend to do is buy whole outfits, right?
Oh, that is true.
Right. So
I do this. Shit.
there you go. There's nothing wrong with getting a whole outfit. The problem is that you kind of box yourself in.
Yep.
Being able to mix and match is one of the most affordable ways to look stylish, and it's one of the most important ways to be able to like consistently look stylish, right? Steve Harvey has the really good. It went viral. The statement that he was like, every guy should have like 5 suits, and if it's like black, what was it? Black, beige, white, gray,
yeah, black,
blue,
brown,
something like that.
blue, gray, yeah.
And having those 5, you're able to mix and match them and create about 75 different outfits. Whereas a guy, especially if like you're broke or you're 21 and you're in college or whatever else it is, being able to mix and match 5 outfits for, let's say you spend $300, and then kind of taking that out and turning that into 75 outfits, that's going to save you thousands of dollars.
That's so insane when you really think about the numbers on that shit. That's fucking crazy.
Right, exactly. Especially when all you have to do is like with the outfits, you mix and match them, and then you just go get you some jewelry, and everything looks brand new every other week. So that's really, like the number one thing.
Yeah. What also is like, what would you say like the second thing is like suits are definitely like I agree with you on that. That's like the biggest one. What's like the second biggest thing that guys are failing on, or like a mistake that guys are making on the day to day? Maybe not in the suit world, but just in like other type of clothing.
Right. So the next biggest thing is dressing for yourself. That's what women do.
Dude, that's so. I always say this. It's so true. It is.
That's what women do.
You cannot dress for yourself.
You can't.
Yeah.
As a guy, you can never dress for yourself, because at the end of the day, you're always communicating something to somebody in front of you, and your outfit is your resume, right? I tell guys this, that if you're able, the better you are at dressing, the less you have to talk when you talk to people, because what you're presenting in front of them also communicates something to them, right? So
it's easy. It makes it easy. It's like pre-selection with women. Like you don't have to work as hard to get them.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we're in the business world, or for men though, or getting in the good circles and stuff.
1,000%. Essentially, everybody ends up assuming something about you, right or wrong, but they assume something about you, and you want them to assume the best things about you. Only way that you get that out of them is by dressing for the person that you're going to be in front of. So if it's a woman, honestly, every guy should own a suit. Period.
Yep.
Because suits are a universal language as far as like success is concerned. So if you want to impress a woman, get a blazer, t-shirt, boom. You want to present well in front of your boss, get a blazer, button up, boom. You know what I'm saying? So I think that overall is gonna be like the next thing, not considering who's gonna be in front of you when you're dressing up.
Okay. Well, what's up?
Yeah, I got one other additional question to that though. Like, how important would you put hygiene on that scale? Because I mean, hygiene does go into a factor as far as how you dress.
Yeah, no. So hygiene is gonna be very top of the list, right? So from about, let's say, 5 feet away, the eyes are communicating, and the person's like, "Oh, this person looks nice." As soon as you get in front of them, they're gonna start smelling you. So as soon as you get in front of them, they're gonna start smelling you. So you really want to be careful with. At best, you want to take a bath, right? Then you want to kind of get into colognes and things of that nature. Some people, it's a little bit harder for them to get into that. So you really want to just at least smell your best. Put on a deodorant that smells nice. Put on some new draws. Like, I can't tell you how many times I'm at like a networking event and there's somebody who smells, and I'm like,
weird.
yo, yeah, it's really freaking weird. And I'm like, man, this dude ain't no way. You can't. I know what.
How old are we?
Exactly. And he's older. It's really freaking weird. So those are like going to be key turnoffs for people, especially like if I'm on a if I'm like, again, if I'm at a networking event and I'm trying to have a conversation with you, it's going to be really distracting if every 5 seconds I take a whiff of you and I'm like, oh, this dude smells like something, like some old milk or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's gonna be
like
really high.
fungus, some Fritos or something.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. So yeah, that's gonna be a really big thing that you want to be considerate of your odor. But that being said, I said that if you're not good with the colognes, that you can kind of get away with it, but you really want to try, if you can afford it, to invest in some colognes, because that again is going to help you not have to speak as much.
Yeah, I can't remember. Shout out to Trip Advice. He always says 2 colognes. I can't remember what the cheap one he always says, but the high scale one is the one that I always recommend as well. Creed, Aventus, or any Creed. Y'all got to, like, if there's something that girls know about and girls latch onto very quick, it's always Creed, guys. Like, you're really sleeping if you're not getting that, or you're like focusing on other types of colognes and stuff, because these bitches know, like, they fucking know. I cannot tell y'all how many girls know those smells really quickly and they really like them. Like, the oil base is a big deal. You just staying a night in a girl's bed and that shit being on her pills the next day, that shit's all a big deal. Like, that's why they like those smells so much. It's not the first time they smelled them on, isn't on you guys.
1,000%.
And none of them are virgins, remember, guys.
And so I'm gonna give y'all some free game. I know we're gonna leave it towards the end, but as far as like scents are concerned, there's 2 things that you kind of that you can kind of like get away with. I think you said Creed Aventus.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to go get the $300, $400.
Yeah, that's on the high end.
Exactly. Right. Well, I'm saying that even if you get, so like, let's say you go to Amazon, right, and you want to get some Creed Aventus, you don't have to get the $300 bottle. You can get the
little
what is
samples.
the little sample bottle, because those will last you about a good 2-3 weeks. They're usually about
and
$20.
the people who work at the store make those for them and then sell them on there. I know, because my girl does it.
Look at yeah. But 1,000%. So you do that. You get one of the little cologne sleeves. You can get them on Amazon for another like $20. And this is for guys who want to get girls. You do that. You spray it on the slip, and they're usually about. You cut this side right here.
They sell them at department stores, or they're not even selling them, but they have them for free.
Oh yeah. Actually, you can go get them. That's true. You can go get them for free. So you get the little slip. Whenever you like, right when you show up, you put the cologne on. You put the cologne on in your on the slip. As whenever you're talking to the girl, let's say that you're walking her to her car, right? What you want to do is you slip that little slip outside of take it out of your pocket, like throw it in her car, try to throw it like under her chair or something like that, right? And what happens is every time she goes into the car, she smells you.
Oh my goodness!
But she doesn't know why. She just thinks that, oh, you left a good impression on her.
Next level manipulation right here, guys.
Finesse game.
Next level finesse game right here. No, don't give away the finesse game yet, bro. We can't let them know about the secrets that are coming in the future. But no, we're gonna go to another question now, guys. We're gonna go to, this is something that I feel like is a big deal in the manosphere right now. It's just not talked about ever because people don't like talking about this type of shit. What do you think are the biggest insecurities in the manosphere, in the red pill space right now, or like what do you think is one that's a big one?
Insecurity. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that there are a lot of guys who really are, they have low self-esteem, right?
Yeah. It's not even it's self-esteem. It's not insecurity.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. So they just feel like they're inadequate where they're at, and I think that one of the biggest things with the red pill is that on the one end, because you have examples, you kind of understand why you're not where you're at,
Mm-hmm.
right? On the other end, because now you know why you're not where you're at, you kind of use that as a coping mechanism.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So you never
Yeah.
really push yourself to actually grow. You know, Andrew Tate's like at the top, right? He's at the top of the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Everybody's following him.
Yeah.
Nobody actually pushes themselves to be like Andrew Tate.
Yeah, the community's most of it's trash sometimes.
Exactly.
Especially the ones that watch like the night shows, for like Freshman Fit.
Right, 1,000%. Everybody's kind of okay with just being the person who knows. It's like,
Yeah.
at least I know the difference. At least I'm not blue pill.
Yeah.
The difference between me and the blue pill guys that I know better.
It's like, it's not cool being red pill when you're a black pill.
Exactly. And for me, I'm like, well, there's really no difference between a blue pill guy who doesn't get women and a red pill guy who doesn't get women. The only, like, let's say that at best right? At best you understand the differences and you know about hypergamy and all the other buzzwords. The fact that you don't get women puts you in the same basket as that person.
Mm-hmm.
So just knowing just makes you that much more. I don't want to say a loser. I want to use a kinder word. It just makes you that much more accountable to your ignorance.
Oh yeah. If
You know
anything, it's even worse because you know better.
Exactly.
You fucking know better,
Exactly.
guys. Like, especially if you have this knowledge.
Exactly. So, yeah, I think that's kind of like one of the biggest. You said insecurities, but
Yeah.
I kind of just said.
Yeah. Well, self-esteem is very close to insecurity. Like, no, I really think guys are super insecure right now, and like, it bothers me because we can cope in so many different ways. Like, there's not just one way of coping.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, well, it's it's the women, or it's because I'm short, or it's because of this. It's because I'm not going to the gym enough, and it's like, I feel like they accidentally end up focusing the biggest thing that scares me is that they'll be like, okay, why am I losing to all these different guys? And they'll be like, oh, it must be my looks. I need to go to the gym. It has to be that, it's because all these guys are buff. And it's just like, well, no, what if it's because their personalities are better? Like, what if it's because they have just better game than or like maybe you have no frame because you don't have no money. So you haven't built no confidence yet, like I think people get kind of confused, and that's what's insecure to me is just some guys take it too far with their body, like maybe focusing too much on that. We got to be so smart about putting points into every aspect of life. Like, it has to be gym, finance, relationships, like, or talking to women and stuff. Like, you can't sleep on three things and only do just one. And that's what bothers me. Like, I think guys are really insecure about how they look. Like, and that makes sense with social media and like pictures everywhere, and we're competing with everybody. Like I understand why you'd be insecure about your look. I'm insecure about my looks too. Like, I'm just another guy also. Like, I make fun of my fucking big nose and all types of shit all the time. Like yeah, every guy's insecure. It's just a matter of how much does it actually control your life or not.
Right.
Yeah.
No, 1,000%.
Also, so what's the number one thing that you think are keeping men from their purpose?
Man, so this is kind of going to go back to
Talk
the
about it.
coping, right? This is going to go back to the coping. I think that the number one thing that's keeping men from their purpose is the availability of information, right?
Oh yeah, it's like paralyzing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget. There's an actual term.
Information paralysis.
There it is. There
yeah,
it is.
information paralysis.
It's too much available information, and a lot of guys are just okay with that. Like, one of the things I'm, and this is because of my heritage or whatever, but I've never been comfortable living vicariously through another man.
Yeah.
Right. So
I agree with you so much.
yeah, I've never been able, like, if I found out that somebody was better than me, it angered me. I wouldn't tell them, but it angered me. So like, when I used to be a huge gamer, if I knew somebody was better than me at Madden or better than me at like Call of Duty or something like that, I would talk my crap all day, losing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'd never be comfortable, and I'd be grinding it out so that one day when I'm better than him, I'm talking my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of how it is. Like, for me, and
you have a competitive mindset instead of a like, I want to like be under your like your power structure, like whatever that guy is doing. Like you
Yeah.
want to be like his assistant. It's really like the alpha beta thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's a lot of guys that are. I'm not saying beta in like the sense that they act like a beta, but like they like being the guy right under the alpha.
The
Like
follower,
yes,
effectively.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with having somebody who's there's nothing wrong with having somebody who's better than you, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, somebody's going to be better than you,
Always.
right? But there's something wrong with you not being better as a result of you being comfortable with them being better than you, if that makes sense.
True. Yeah.
Right? It's like I'm 35, so I grew up in a way different era. When I was growing up, if a person was 3 years your senior, it was kind of okay for you to kind of look up to him, but it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if I'm on the basketball court, I played football really. So if I'm playing football and the guy is the guy who's like starting above me is a year or two older than me, right? It's kind of okay for you to admire him because you're a freshman and he's a junior at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
But in as much as I know you and I can feel you and I can touch you, it's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're out and we're just shooting the shit, I'm trying to beat. I'm winning. Like when we're playing flag, I'm winning. But when we're actually playing like realistic football, we're putting pads on, and I'm on JV and you're on varsity.
Mm-hmm.
There's a respect level. You know what I'm saying? You don't see any of that nowadays.
Yeah, you don't. I just posted a video like this the other day where it was like a guy who was talking. It was a black guy, and he was talking about how there's black guys in your own community that are doing it, and y'all won't even listen to them.
1,000%.
Y'all won't even take their advice. Like y'all look up to these other guys that are like finessing and doing like all the dumbest stuff. You don't even look at the guys in your own community that are really trying to teach you this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And like they look right past you.
1,000%.
And it's. Like the tier levels, like I don't think that people understand that, like if you know somebody like way up here, sometimes they won't even fuck with you because you got to make your way up a ladder of other people to get to them.
Mm-hmm.
But like you can find somebody that's kind of under them but like in a similar field, and the next thing you know you can still move up that ladder to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but you can't just jump from here to here. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Nobody can jump from here to up here unless you go viral or like that crazy the crazy thing that can happen to some people, but that doesn't always happen.
Right. And I mean, even in that sense, like one thing I think about often is well, two things. One thing is Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is not, I think he's 35, right?
Yeah.
I'm 35. So when I look at Andrew Tate, I respect him,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I also go, shit, if he could have done it,
What
why
the fuck
am
was
I not
doing?
Yeah, what the fuck was I doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the guy who meets him in person and I almost, like, I use this term, like, he little niggas me, like he little brothers me.
He's a brokey.
Yeah,
Oh,
he does one of them
man.
joints. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that guy. So I want to be the best version of myself that I can be, to where I'm close enough to where I can like stand up with him,
Yes.
as opposed to be like, oh, Mr. Tate, I'm such a big fan. It's like, oh, what's up, bro?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of how
It's
I look
some
at
regular
it.
shit. Yeah.
Exactly. And one of my biggest motivators more recently, and then we can move on after this, is I know we talked about Fresh and Myron, is Fresh and Myron, because they're just like me. Like,
Mhm.
they have the same background, gamers and all that good
Yep.
stuff. And I'm looking at them like, okay, they just grinded it out for a year or two, and now they're like this close.
Look what they're doing.
Exactly. And they're nowhere near Andrew Tate's level as far as income, but they're still respected within that circle.
Shit, it's
That's
still
what
a
I
lot.
think.
Like, who cares, man? Like it's like it's like when people joke about the difference between like having $1 million and $3 million. Like, you're still a millionaire. Like, fuck. Like, who cares? Like, they're still in the same bracket in my head.
1,000%. You know what's funny? So I was talking to this guy. He used to play in the NFL, right? And we were having a conversation very similar to this. Dude said, money. It was funny. He goes, everybody's focused on the money, and they should be focused on other problems, right? And in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, that sounds good to a person who already got money. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, you can, but it's not going to be well received telling somebody who's not on your level, don't focus on money, because that's all they can focus on at this point, right?
Mhm.
That being said, he makes a statement. He goes, the thing that altered his thinking on money is when he recognized that he was in the same party as billionaires.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They were
Mhm.
making like 10 times his income, and he was
Yeah.
in the same parties and private clubs and stuff like that they were in.
Mhm.
And he was like, well, shit, I don't got to keep pursuing this thing, because we're pretty much in the same circles.
Yes.
So that's kind of like, to your point, that's kind of what it ends
It
up
doesn't.
looking
Yeah,
like.
yeah. You don't have to get to some crazy amount. You just got to get to the crazy amount.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
crazy
Get in the room. Get your foot in
crazy
the
is
room.
crazy once you're up there. You
Right.
know? Well,
Hey, I got a question for y'all
Uh-huh.
about like men's improvement. like Sergio, you made a good point about men looking up, like not looking up to the right people, you know, the OGs in the space or whatever that could be passing on some good tips. However, in my personal opinion, I do believe there are a lot of men out here that are doing the exact same shit that these females are doing. Like, for example, these females are chasing the nines and the tens. Guys are out here doing the same exact shit, especially in the red pill space, saying, "Oh, you need to humble yourself." But themselves as men, they're not doing the things that they need to take in control of.
Or they're not even close to 9 or 10s.
Correct.
Like on an overall level, not even just looks.
You mean like they're delusional?
Yes.
They're inflating their value. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. 1,000%.
The delusions on both sides.
Yeah. 1,000%.
Yeah. So like what? So that's a really good point, Donnie. And what's crazy is we got to start calling guys out that are like this. Like this is something that I never see. Like guys are just as delusional as women, but if we're all around each other, we're not going to call each other out on it. We're not going to sit there and be like, hey, that was kind of delusional that you think that you're a fucking 6 when you're really like a 3, bro. Like, we got to like really start calling guys out on these things. But I guess it's because it's a scary thing. Like, you don't want to like piss off your boys, like respect, you know, like that equals combat in men's situations sometimes. So I mean, maybe it's like it's a respect thing. Like, guys don't want to call their guys out because you don't want to disrespect your homie. But at the end of the day, I think if we're all really about self-improvement, we got to talk about the really uncomfortable truths. And the really uncomfortable truths are that if we look at statistics, most guys aren't getting pussy and most guys aren't getting money. And if we're all trying to self-improve, man, we need to peel some layers back and figure out why those two things aren't happening more. Kind of want to go straight into like another subject that's just about this. Like, we were just talking about this the other day, man. Something that I'm pushing a lot, and just people don't listen to me at all about this, is, you know, the whole pre-selection thing. Like, how the women are going to come to you, like, once you just have enough around you, like once you're able to just have a crew of people around you, and you're able to what was I trying to say? Whenever you have a lot of girls around you, and more girls are coming to you, it just makes it easier because you don't even have to try to talk to them. Like they're going to talk to you. Girls. Yes. Yeah. Well, you don't have to use pickup anymore. Instead of you having to try to pick up the girls, they're just going to come and talk to you. Does that make sense?
You know, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So real quick, man, we giving out free game. I'm seeing 6 likes in the video right now. Like the fucking video.
Yeah, like the fucking video, guys.
I didn't want to stop it, but I had to make sure I wasn't tripping because it felt like we wouldn't get no likes. So like the video for me real quick. We do see a super chat, so I do appreciate that. But yeah, no, 100%. The reality is that a guy's value is, or one of the things that allows somebody to perceive you as a higher value person, is the group of people that you have around you. So I'm going to give you an example. Back when I was in college, everybody does the spring break thing, right? Now, what I recognized when we went to spring break was that when we went out to the beach as a group, and we were trying to talk to girls as a group, it was that much easier to get them. Mainly because we're talking to each other, we're vibing, we're playing off of each other, and the girls are looking like, oh my gosh, he's funny, right? So as a group, we were able to do what we wanted to do way easier than we would have been able to do it solo.
Yeah.
That same thing happens when I go out and network. When I have a group of guys, shout out to Rod Eric. When I'm with Rod, and it's just like me and him, or maybe like me and another person, when we go out, almost 100% of the time, we'll get, sorry about that. We'll come across a guy, and he'll be talking to us for hours, and he'll be like, are y'all brothers? Or are y'all best friends? And I'm like, nah, we just been knowing each other for a year. And the dude will say, normally I don't talk to people, but I rock with y'all because of how you guys come across as genuine, how you guys come across as listening, all that good stuff. Now I can do that by myself. But when I'm out with a group, it hits that much harder. Yeah. People in the room are like, who are these guys? You know what I'm saying?
When it's uniform.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. When we're all wearing the uniform and we're all the same. This is one of the reasons why, me personally, I respect, again, Andrew Tate, Fresh and Myron, Rollo Tomasi, and Michael Sartain, because they move as a unit. Like, they move as a unit. You can't tear them away from each other. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that makes them move that much further, that much faster.
Yeah. So no, it is crazy how like nobody's focusing on the team. Like, I keep bringing up this word focus a lot when we talk about self-improvement and in groups and stuff, because like you don't get anywhere if everybody's focus is in all these other places. But when you're all on the same fucking thing,
Mm-hmm.
it's so much easier to do. I think that's why YouTubers stick so hard together, is because they're all doing the same grind.
Mm-hmm.
They all know exactly the same algorithm they're trying to hack. Like, they all know all the same tricks. They're all doing the same shit. Like, it's like, and it's a family. It's like a brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually my favorite thing about getting into YouTube, is just all the people that I've got to meet and talk to and learn from. It's fucking crazy how much of a brotherhood it is. It's way more of a real brotherhood than sometimes the brotherhoods that I find right here in real life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy, and I don't even get to see these guys. I don't get to message them and shit. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
1000%.
You can know somebody better through the internet that you fucking can know people that you've known your whole life in real life.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely crazy. Going back to kind of like what we were talking about. Wait, what was that subject, Donnie? And then I pivoted to pre-selection from that. There was two
Yeah.
things that guys were failing on that you had brought up.
So I was talking about how these guys are
Oh,
basically
they
like
call
shooting
themselves
for
nines
something.
and tens.
Yeah, they're shooting for something.
There was
higher than what
something
they
else
are
that I was
themselves.
thinking. Oh, okay, yeah. So this is another thing about like you know like what is it that is this another self-esteem thing that's making these guys inflate themselves to nines and tens, like, or inflating themselves to just as worthy as these women? Or do you think that this is like it's they are literally just lack like the self-awareness, like, or they just have low self-esteem and they're lying to themselves to make themselves feel better?
No, I don't think it's the self-esteem. I don't think that it's so I honestly
Self-awareness,
self-awareness.
they
Yeah.
don't even know.
Well, it is that, but it's more so. Again, it all for me. It all goes back to the information thing. When a person, when a person, okay, one of the hardest things to do when you learn something is to go out and like look down on everybody because you know something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so when a guy knows something, when anybody gets information that the other person doesn't have, you kind of automatically first you try to tell them, like, you know, this you don't know, let me tell you, right?
Mm-hmm.
After that doesn't happen, you kind of look at him, you go, man, this dude's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what happens in the red pill space. You have at least 3 years of documented evidence of men going out telling women, you're delusional, you're delusional, you're, you know what I mean? This is how you get a man, you know, whoop de whoop. And in that 3 year time frame, you have, I'm not gonna say hundreds of thousands, but thousands of women who sound the same, who aren't learning. As a result of that, it's gonna make you a little callous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's gonna make you a little bit apathetic to people, and it's gonna make you look down on people. So when you look at girl number one, girl number two, girl number three, you're gonna look at them as though they're all the other women.
Yeah.
What that does as a result for you internally, it makes you have an elevated sense of ego that you probably haven't earned.
Yep.
You just don't recognize that you haven't earned it because you're looking at everybody who's below you and they're dumber than you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And speaking of that, you know, like just kind of earning it. I don't like, maybe because they see that these girls don't have to earn it, like they're just pretty, you know, and like they kind of reflect and want the same thing. Like, hey, I want to be able to say like I'm 23 and I'm a fucking badass already. Like, it's just like, I don't know, it's like it's a feminine trait almost, because since the women automatically do it, the guys want to do it too.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Like, you know, a lot of these guys are doing the exact same shit that these females are doing. Like, literally the exact same shit.
They just don't notice it because, again, they know, they quote unquote know better. Well, I'm not gonna say quote unquote. They actually do know, but they know better than the woman. But again, it all goes back to application. It doesn't really matter what you know if you're not applying it. So it's like a teacher. How many times have you had a teacher who was like broker than you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or as broke as you.
Yeah.
But they were your teacher and they just kind of ruled over you only because they knew more than you. Or man, one of my biggest things in the black community, you'll have like a guy who's older than you and they'll tell you not to do something. You'll be like, nah, don't do that. You ain't gonna make no money off of that. And it's like, dude,
you're broke.
Yeah.
Like, why are you even trying to give me advice right now?
Exactly. Well, I'm older than you, you know, shit like that. So that happens a lot. And I think that that's kind of like our number one problem. Like, you got a bunch of guys, again, who know better, which is, knowing is, I'm old. Knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe type shit, right? But, but yeah, knowing is like half of it, right? Knowing is half of it, right? But you really want to be the person that you perceive yourself to be. You know what I mean? And it's okay for you not to be there yet.
Yeah.
But you also want to be grinding. I think that's like the biggest thing, as far as like what Donnie was saying. The biggest thing is not that you're not the 10 or that you don't know anything. The biggest thing is that you're not the 10. You do know better, but you're not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's the paralysis that we talk about all the time. You know, these guys are paralyzed by the porn, by the fucking drugs, by there's just so much drinking. There's so much to be paralyzed by. So I'm gonna change it over to something a little bit different. There's an old saying that every man should have a son, plant a tree, and write a book. Do you think most men are going to fall short of this over this next decade? Do you think that a lot of guys aren't even going to come close to getting even fucking close to even 3 of these?
Yeah, no, 1,000%. I don't know how many people. I know that right now, what is it, 33% of guys under the age of like, or between the ages of 18 and
Yeah, and
35.
something like half usually already don't have kids, or
Yeah.
something like that. Like it's a lot of guys that don't usually have kids.
Right, and it's not that you have to. So the quote is really referring to having responsibility that goes beyond you.
True.
Right.
Yes.
So planting a tree refers to society,
Mhm.
right? Writing a book refers to society.
Mhm.
Having a kid refers to society.
Yeah,
So
you're
being
giving something.
exactly being a plus positive for the next generations,
Yeah.
right? And really not just the next generation, but your own particular legacy. So when you die, your name carries on. I think Rod Eric said that in the last thing on Saturday. So yeah,
Yeah.
when you die, your name carries on.
Yeah.
That's what that's referring to. And a lot of guys are falling very short of that. This is not their fault. I put a lot of onus on guys, but this particular thing is not their fault. I say that because in America specifically, in the West specifically, the idea is individualism,
Mhm.
right? So you come in alone, you die alone.
Yeah.
There's no emphasis on legacy.
Yep.
Right, in any form. Even now, you got guys who are like, don't get married, don't have kids, this, this, that, and the third, which is fine. But if you're not going to get married, you're not going to get kids, then you need to build a kingdom.
Mhm.
And if you're not building a kingdom, then what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it depends what your end purpose is or whatever, like your end goal. Like some people want the legacy, some people want the family, and some people want, a kingdom to build something, big, I guess. I think everybody low key wants the kids and they're all coping if they say they don't.
Yeah, no, I think
Yeah, because once you have a shit ton of money, there's nothing else to do but to have kids at that point, kind of.
Yeah.
And like we all want the money, so we want the kids then, right?
You always want to give. Like men are designed to give.
Yeah.
And so having kids is like the first.
Yeah.
The
way I see that saying, guys, is just like you got to have a son because your name has to go on. Like if you even fucking care about being a real man, and if you give a fuck about your ancestors that literally went through hell to get to the point where you're at right now, for you to just fucking squander it and not have kids, it sounds like the most selfish thing I've ever heard of in my life for your bloodline. But whatever. But yeah, and then writing a book, obviously you should want your thoughts to go out. You should want to be on your purpose and change the world and expand human consciousness and knowledge with writing a book. You should want to plant a tree to, everybody who knows me knows I'm all about planting stuff. Money grows on trees, guys. Yeah, sooner or later y'all are gonna learn it. Let's go to the next one. What are the biggest mistakes men are making with social media, you think?
Staying on it too long.
Staying on it too long.
Staying on it way too long. If you're gonna be on it, man,
it should only be like work.
Yeah, what's his name? There's a YouTuber. I think his name is like Iman Grazi or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He says that he's like, there's nothing wrong with being on social media 24/7, but you need to be working. Like if you're an influencer on social media, that's cool. But if you're just like a regular person, you got a 9 to 5 and you're on social media, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
You're
at
a consumer.
2:00 in the morning. Yeah, you're a consumer. Oh man.
Even though you're not consuming products at the store or anything, you're still a consumer.
You're still a consumer. They're putting you in the algorithm. They're saying this person's been spending this much time. Heck, you can actually track how much time you've been spending on Instagram.
Yeah, you can track on your whole phone. There's no excuse for not knowing that you're an addict right now.
Pretty much.
There's no excuse. I get a little notification every week about how much my time is on my iPhone. Shit's
1,000%,
crazy.
1,000%, and all you're seeing is like memes, girls. It's funny. I think it's Jay Waller who said it. What he does is with his Instagram, he follows like financial people, AI. He follows a bunch of like tech, finance, real estate, those types of guys, right? Mainly because the more that you follow them, the more that stuff gets pushed out in your explore page and all that good stuff. So when he's
bullshit.
Exactly. When he's on Instagram, he's learning.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Nothing bad is ever popping up.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. I love my reels whenever they come through right now because it's always like good shit. It's always stuff that's actually like worth my time.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing that's wrong with a lot of guys' social media is that they're curating their profiles and stuff to the point where they get nothing but ass all the time. And they're wondering why they're 25 or like this 25 and under guys. They wonder why they can't get their dick hard and stuff. It's like you've been literally watching the craziest porn for like fucking 10 years.
Decades.
Yeah, and like I didn't even have access to anything close to that whenever I was their age. Like I think that's the biggest thing. That's another reason for the 9-10 thing. I think a lot of the younger cats, they're gonna like have a really inflated like what they want because of what they've seen their whole life, which is
Yeah.
nothing but the craziest bitches on their like I could sell. It's always about the adjustable 7, guys. Y'all are fucking
Just
y'all are crazy if y'all don't go for the
no,
adjustable
honestly, yeah,
7s
for like
for long term for
yeah,
marriage.
for long term for marriage,
Yeah.
honestly, the adjustable 7. I mean,
Here, talk
there's nothing really wrong with a guy wanting a 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Everybody.
No,
says,
you just should be prepared for what comes with it. Like
Yeah.
AMS always talks about, like you could choose those girls, but they come with something extra.
Yeah.
Like that's why they're a 9 or 10.
1,000%. And honestly, if you're gonna get a 9 or 10, you might as well just go overseas. I know a lot of people don't do the passport bro stuff,
but you
the
can get a 9 or
culture's
10 better.
different. No, yeah, I'm just saying, like you're groomed. They're groomed to be different.
Women,
Yeah.
being
Wives.
wives, yeah.
Wives,
Yeah.
exactly.
mothers.
So
Yeah.
you can literally Austin Holloman, he's out there living his best life. I'm like, man, these
Shout
girls.
the fuck out to Austin Hollow.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
One of our
I'm
pros.
like, even our guy, man, why am I forgetting this dude's name? Jeez, I don't know why I just forgot this dude's name. Scotty G.
Oh yeah,
Right, Scotty. He's living
Sorry,
his best
I'm
life
yawning,
too. No, you're good. And so, I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting a beautiful woman. You just want a better mind. In the West, unfortunately, the prettier she is,
the more fucked her mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
what's
yeah. That's I guess that is a good way to want a passport, bros. If you want to go get a fucking banger, like
Yeah.
something that's way out of.
because everybody
out of
wants
your
their
league,
kids to be
maybe
pretty.
normally.
Like I don't know too many dudes who want an ugly kid
Yeah, definitely not. I don't want. Yeah.
or ugly woman. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Let me check out the super chats really quick so I can keep up with them.
Yeah.
$1 from Michael Mitrok. Thank you so much, bro.
Hey.
I appreciate you, man. $2 from Unburied House. Like the video and you'll get a 6-pack of soda. Yes. $5 from Unburied again. Thank you so much, bro. True responsibility starts when your offspring can hold you accountable for their outcome and lessons you implanted on them. At that point, no excuse. Very true, man. When your offspring can hold you accountable for their outcome and lessons you implant on them. Yeah, it's actually really crazy how much you can tell the success of somebody based off how good their kids are, like how good their family is. Like you can, oh my God, you can literally tell how good a kid is going to be in their future sometimes just based off of their family, and if their like parents are even actually good people.
Hey, I
hate going to Walmart or Target and I be seeing badass kids
everywhere.
Yeah, I really do. I be wanting to snatch them up, like man. But yeah.
What's up, Don?
Yo, I got a real question for y'all. As a man, like as far as preferences goes, what would you rate higher for you as a man? Do you rate respect and loyalty higher than looks?
Oh, that's a good question, man.
Respect and loyalty higher than looks?
Yep.
You know what's crazy is like I don't really want to answer this one.
I'm
about to
because
get,
I have an
like-
answer for y'all, and
I'm about to get hated for
Let
this.
me get your answer. Oh yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
gonna be honest. As a guy that like, so here's the thing. Like, I'm honest with everybody on this channel. Like, I'm always honest with y'all. I have baggage. Like, I always say matching baggage. Like, if a guy has baggage, and if you're a guy who has baggage and you have trauma and you're not that good of a guy, you probably shouldn't sit there and fucking get mad when a girl is like that because you ain't that good either. So it's like, I will say that sometimes I will choose the more beautiful girls that might, not respect me as much, but it's because like I'm comfortable with being disrespected because I'm not that good of a guy. Like I'm comfortable with having a woman that's not perfect because I'm not perfect. So because of that, I'll take the hot looks but the shitty attitude, I guess. That's just the way I kind of see it. Like I'm definitely willing to go through more pain than most guys. More shit tests, more bullshit. I think most men like really cannot handle a woman that puts them through shit, and I can really well. So it just depends on the type of guy. But I have BPD. I'm a whole different form of guy. Most guys are not nearly as like willing to go through nearly as much shit as me to like keep a relationship together. So that's why I'm special. That's why I talk so much about relationships, guys, because I fight for them really hard. So I know every positive point of them. And sadly, I know every negative point too. But yeah, go ahead. Like, what do you think, bro? Like, which one would you choose?
That is a shit. Okay, so if I gotta choose,
definitely more healthy though for the other one.
Yeah, if I gotta choose, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's gonna be respect over everything.
Yep.
Mainly because, okay, when a woman disrespects you, especially in public, I'm gonna give y'all a story time. I don't know if y'all got the little.
What if she never disrespects you in public though?
If she just disrespects you, period, then.
Yeah.
But if she disrespects you in private, it's gonna be public. If she disrespects you private,
it'll come out sooner.
It's gonna come out sooner.
Yeah, It's just she can't hide it forever.
1,000%. So, I had a homeboy in college. Man, it was so crazy. This is the stuff that kind of like really opened my eyes. to like how vicious women can be. So he was like the guy who wore braces. He like no homo. He was like the guy who was like low key handsome. Like all the women liked him, but he had braces, so he looked weird.
Okay.
And he was like, "Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that." I said no homo. Yeah, I'm absolved. But
You look out, have the button on my board.
But anyways, bottom line is that he got his braces off. He got a little bit more confidence. He thought he was ugly until he got his braces off. The girls liked him, right?
Yeah.
The first woman that he locked himself in with, like she had a big old ass, right? So he locks himself in with this chick. She's beating this dude in public. Like I'm not talking about they used to fight. She used to fight him. Now, mind you, I'm like 6', 6'1" at this time. He's like 6'4", 6'5", and she got to be like 5'6".
It's always the big guys. It's crazy.
It's crazy. And I'm talking about he ended up joining the military, but at that time he was like real like receiver built. I mean, I'm looking at this dude like, man, why are you letting this girl touch all on you? And it's crazy because I just saw like how bad his reputation dropped as a result of that. The women who thought he was handsome were like, I don't know about this dude.
Because he put up with it.
Because
it's very unattractive. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because it shows you don't hold frame. Yeah.
Exactly. So a guy who chooses respect first can always like
attract even more women as well.
Exactly. Yes. But if he chooses the beauty first and she's like, shitting on him, all the women who are in that sphere of beauty, not like, let's say it's a 7, right? Yeah. Adjustable 7. A 7 and down is going to disrespect them.
Yes.
The up is like already there, right?
Yeah.
That's why he's at the 7. The 7 and the down are going to disrespect him unless she's like that, like nice. She'll be like, oh, well, yeah, I'll treat him better. But outside of that, they're going to be looking at him like, man, this dude over here got getting his ass whooped.
Yeah. Donnie, what was your answer to that one?
So mine is hands down respect and loyalty.
Yeah.
To me, whenever I receive or notice that respect and loyalty, to me, that makes the girl 2 notches higher as far as attractability.
She could be a fucking...
Like, she can be a 5 and go up to a 7 easy for me. And the reason why I say 5, I don't...
4 points sometimes.
Yeah, like, to me as well, like, whenever you... For example, that story you just gave, Goods... I think whenever you put yourself in that situation and you get embarrassed in public like that, you're automatically showing that you pedestalize that woman because you're already attached. Mm-hmm. Like you're willing to put up with the bullshit. And that is unattractive, I think, to not just women, but as well your comrades, your dudes, your guy, your boys. Like they're gonna be looking at you like, dog, you a bitch, bro. Mm-hmm. He's a
stop being a bitch and come on.
So, I respect and loyalty all day.
And it's not even only the pedestalization of the woman, it's the devalue. I don't know if that's a word. Devaluing yourself. I'm gonna say devaluation, but devaluing
emasculating
yourself. There's nothing more. There's nothing worse than a man who doesn't think highly of himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
self-esteem.
saying? Exactly. So, and not only like it's one thing for you to think it. If you're the guy who's always saying it, everybody's unattracted to you.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like from a physical like I want to date you. I mean like guys don't want to be your friend.
Yeah.
Girls don't want to be your girlfriend because everybody's
negativity.
Like, it's negativity. Like, man, I want to have to talk to this dude off the clip every 5 seconds. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what it is. So if you're the guy who doesn't value yourself and you allow people just to disrespect you consistently, nobody's gonna want to be around you.
Mm-hmm. It's a virus, man. Mm-hmm. It spreads. We were talking the other night about we asked the question, you are the product of the 5 guys around you, and how do you pull one of your brothers up if they're not doing like their part like they're supposed to do? I really wanted to talk to you about this one. Do you think that or what do you think that we should do when one of our brothers isn't stepping up? They're not doing what they're supposed to do. Like how do you it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, is it's kind of hard to talk to them because we don't want to disrespect our brothers, but at the same time they need to do certain things. What do we do?
So I can tell you what I do, and a lot of people might not agree with this, but I do one conversation, one follow-up, and I just love you from a distance.
Because you can take a horse water, but you can't make him drink.
Exactly. And if I try to make you drink, it's only going to make me thirsty. Because I'm going to be putting in all this effort, all this time, trying to pour into you when I could be pouring into myself and pouring into the other people who are there. You know what I'm saying? Man, Remember the Titans is one of my favorite movies. So there's a scene at the very end where anybody who watched it.
I watched it like every year. It's one of my favorite movies.
There you go. So Petey, right? They were supposed to be. So the game was being. They were being cheated on. They were being cheated.
Yeah.
Right. The refs were calling like bad calls, this, that, and the third. So The coach is like, "Hey, PD, don't let this guy get up over on you."
Yeah.
And PD was like,
Don't
"Well, I
get
can't."
beat deep.
Yeah, don't get beat deep. He was like, "Well, they holding on me all the time." And he's like, "I'm not here for your excuses. I just want you to do your job."
Mhm.
And then PD walks away, and the
Mhm.
guy's like, "Forget about him. That's me." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, just do your job. Everything else gonna get taken care of.
You know what sucks? I'm like the other coach.
I
I want to help them.
Yeah.
I want to find what they can be good at and put them into that position.
Nope. I mean,
It's
and that's
just
not
like,
wrong. That's not bad.
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you can't. One thing.
But yeah, you can get dragged down. It's like what lifeguards are taught. Like if somebody starts pulling you down whenever you're
Mhm.
trying to save them, you got to poke them in the eyes and get them off you, or else y'all both kind of die.
1,000%,
Yeah.
1,000%, and you can't save everybody. That's just the reality. You can't save everybody. So when I recognize it, and the reason I'm like this now is because when I first started like growing and got quote unquote red pilled or whatever, that was what I wanted to do. I was telling everybody like, dude, come on over here. Here's the information. This is how we win. Um, and eventually, like, I just recognized that I was going sleepless nights because my best friends were like not coming along. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, why are these dudes not listening? And when I recognize that I'm spending like hours just like thinking about shit that I shouldn't be thinking about, I'm over here trying to work, and like these thoughts are just popping in my mind. Like, man, this nigga ain't even picked up the phone. I'm trying to tell this nigga about this opportunity. When that started happening, I started recognizing, damn, you know what? The funny thing is, and this is gonna get like really dark. The funny thing is, if I were to die from stress, because that's like one of the number one causes of death in men, heart attacks, right?
Yeah.
So if I were to die from stress thinking about this, people would mourn me,
Mm-hmm.
but they would move on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When that clicked for me, I was like, oh shit, well fuck it. I'm just gonna love you from a distance, and I'm not gonna stress about it, because I could drive myself to an early grave stressing about trying to pull you along, or I can just live my best life. You see it, and if you want to come on later,
Or move a new person into the circle.
exactly, 1,000%.
Sometimes, like when one door closes, a better one opens anyways.
1,000%.
And like you got to let go of that person so you can find the better guy that's really supposed to come and help you out.
Mm-hmm.
This is a subject that like really drives me crazy because, like I said, I'm that guy that I want to save every fucking guy. Like, I truly believe every man can be saved. Like, I truly believe it. I just feel like they haven't talked about the things that they need to talk about. They haven't learned to handle like the certain things that they're not handling correctly in their life. Like, they're not stepping up to. It's all cope and it's all fear. Everything is based on fear. It's just like what Yoda says in Star Wars. You know, like you like literally like fear controls all of us. It doesn't matter who you are. Your fear controls you.
Mm-hmm.
And most men, the reason why they're stuck in the position they're in, or they're not upgrading like we want them to, is 1,000% fear. Always
I think
fear.
it's comfort.
Oh yeah, comfort. Yeah,
I think the number one thing is comfort. Like,
yeah.
at the end of the day, most people, man, this dude I do
It's
a
that
lot of
paralysis. You know.
yeah. I listen to a lot of like motivation stuff. This one guy said, if you're he didn't say a number. He said broke. He's like, if you're broke, you have no business watching TV, watching Netflix. He was like, what the fuck are you doing at 9 o'clock, kicking your feet up?
Yeah.
He's like, if I'm broke, he's like, when I was broke, I couldn't sleep. And that's kind of how I am. I'm like, when I'm thinking about when I heck, the Saturday I was working. I was working to 2 a.m. When I got home, I was like, man, I got some other stuff I need to do. I fell asleep at the laptop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I fell asleep at the laptop. That's kind of how I am. I'm like, when I know that I'm not where I need to be, I can't sleep.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, that's how I think guys ought to be. But most men, and I get it, because it's easier to be comfortable. It's
Yeah.
easier to kind of like cope,
Just chill,
like you said,
yeah.
just to chill. So most guys are kind of like, just comfortable being uncomfortable, and it's
So what do you think about how, like, I'm just kind of wording it a little bit different, just wordplay here.
Mm.
Like, most men are all comfortable, like especially blue pill men, super comfortable.
Mhm.
Like they got their 9 to 5, they do whatever it is, and they're happy, like play video games, whatever it is. And so they're super comfortable. But I would say the guys that are red pill, that at that point, once you know that you're within hand's reach to like get the knowledge to something, like the internet's there, or you have a mentor, you have somebody that can teach you something like that, I'd say if you have the knowledge and you're still choosing to be comfortable, it's fear. Because you know what's
like
out
fear
there.
of failure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, we know that paralyzes people. Like, we know that people are scared of, trying things. You don't want to be judged. I failed at multiple businesses before I ever was successful.
Okay.
One of the most embarrassing feelings in my whole life was every time I would have to start a new business and people would ask me, so what happened with that last one? It's one of the most embarrassing things ever. Most people don't want to do that. They don't want to
Especially
go
when you
through
do
like
like
that
2,
pain.
3, 4, then all of a sudden
Oh,
everybody looks at you
I
like,
did 10. It took 10 guys. Took 10 before I won. So it's just and I think a lot of people are so scared of that. But it was in those failures that I learned everything. I wouldn't even have this studio right now if it wasn't for all those fucking failures. And it just drives me crazy that guys are scared to fail because I embrace every one I ever had. I'm proud of every L I ever had because it was a lesson. That's just it's sad to me that guys are being comfortable or being scared, either one.
So another side question for y'all. I know a lot of women like to say that they're attracted to dudes that have drive and ambition, but in the same breath, do you really think that most people even know what that really means to have drive and ambition?
Ooh, that is like
Nah.
a good thing.
Nah, not
You don't
at
think
all.
most people even know what it
Not
is?
at all.
Yeah,
Not at all.
because it's hard to recognize if you've never had it.
Yeah, it's not. It's
Like
not. It's
you
not
can't
hard
even
to
put a
recognize.
name on it, kind of.
It's not. It's not hard to recognize if you haven't had it, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Like, because we're all products.
Oh,
of
from
what
our
we see,
fathers or from a mentor
from
or
anybody,
something. Yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
That's why I was like the Andrew Tate thing. That's why I'm like, nobody has an excuse because you've seen it. He told you his story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's one thing to see it through a video and see it in real life. Like see it like your father. Like like for me, I have two amazing fathers that were huge hustlers. So it's like a lot of what I do is natural to me because I never saw anything else. I never saw anything less than that. Like both of my fathers worked 24/7, it seemed like, and they were happy with it. So it's like that's how I was. I was working my ass off whenever I was a kid. Like my stepfather worked me like I was a farm boy, and I mean I hated it at the time, but I love it now because I wouldn't have the work ethic I have today if it wasn't for it.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. The only reason why I say that it doesn't necessarily, so you get a like a stimulus boost, right, from having the person next to you, right? But you don't necessarily need the person next to you. You just need to hear the story.
True.
And the reason I say that is because, and I love sports references because I feel like it's the most basic type of information that you can get that applies to any situation, right? So that being said, there are thousands of kids who watched Deion Sanders, right, become one of the greatest cornerbacks of all time, or thousands of kids who watched Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or LeBron James become the greatest basketball player of all time, right? And those kids go up to be in the NBA or be in the NFL or whatever else it is, right? They don't have to actually know those guys or see them to know the type of drive that comes from being that person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They just know that this dude had to be working. Or they'll see an interview where Kobe Bryant was like, while they were at the club, I was in the gym.
Yeah, out 7 days a week. So he says I did 4 hours every
4
day.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you can read a book and go, oh, that's what he did? But the issue is that after you've read that book, after you've seen that person, what do you do with that information? You know what I'm saying?
Do you get paralyzed or do you do something?
Because now you have the actual, like you have the visual representation of what it looks like to be this person. Like I think we're going to talk about it later. But the difference between now, 2023, this decade, and the previous decade is that previously you didn't get to see your mentors. You just saw the Bugattis. You just saw the women. You didn't see the process. You know what I'm saying? You had to wait for a documentary or some type of movie or something like that.
For real, yeah.
You know what I mean? Now you get to see these guys. Like, if you're following, I keep talking about these guys because they're like the closest. Actually, I'm going to give you, instead of Fresh and Mind, I'm going to talk about one of my mentors. This dude posts every day, right? And when he's posting his laptop. He's posting what he's doing. And when I talk to him, he's like, man, I've been working all day, right? I look at that and I go, well, I ain't been working all day. I need to go ahead and figure out something else I need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? One of my buddies, he works 3 jobs, right? He does, he's an engineer, he does roofing, and then he does financial services.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly, right? He's not that far removed from what Myron does.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So when I look at that, I go, okay, well, if they're working 140 hours purposefully, I need to be figuring out purposeful things that I could be doing to keep my mind busy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's a lot of hours right there. Yeah. Did you have something, Donnie, or no?
No, that's
okay.
it.
So I just want to ask really quick. I don't know your opinion really on this one. What do you think about men and women being friends, or what do you think about friend zoning the women? I'll say that specifically. What do you think about a guy friend zoning a woman?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then like But like, if you did it, how would you kind of do it? Since you're a recruiter for the pod, like you definitely have to deal with a lot of women. I mean, I deal with them too, but not nearly as much as you do. So like how do you kind of do it for the guys that like want to try to get into pre-selection or get into social circle game? What's the easiest way to kind of friend zone a girl in your opinion?
So it's really funny. The easiest way to friend zone a girl is to get her. Y'all might disagree with this, but get her a guy friend. Like the easiest way to friend zone a girl is tell her that you're going to get her married or get her a boyfriend or whatever. Whatever.
You're gonna get her a man.
You're
yeah.
gonna get her a man, right?
Oh, dude, you're so right. That's so
the
true.
Easiest way.
Yeah,
That's the easiest
like
way.
no, or talking if they're in a relationship, talking to them about their man or their relationship and being like, "Oh, are y'all good? Oh, yeah, he sounds like a good guy. Are you being nice to him? Don't be
That's
a bitch."
what I do. Like I don't. I'm a men's advocate. So
yeah, I'm a men's advocate too.
So
yeah.
if she has a boyfriend and she's tripping,
Are you
I'm
getting?
like,
Are
man,
you being nice
tweaking.
to him?
Yeah, I'm like, you tweaking. I'm like, man. Anyways, yeah.
Like look at the text, be like, "Why are you talking to him like that? What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Unless he's a simp, then I'm like, man, you
yeah,
don't
you need to get over
Yeah.
need to get over this guy.
Yeah,
like,
1000%.
Well, the biggest thing is just being honest with them, and since so few men are honest with them, they fucking see you completely different from every other fucking guy in the world. Like you instantly get seen like complete opposite of every fucking guy that tries to hit on them and shit. It's ridiculous. Next thing, do you think there's other coaches that are in the space right now that aren't doing a good job, like they're leading people astray, or do you think that like what do you think about most of the people that are doing coaching program stuff online? Do you agree with them or you disagree with them? Like if you could coach guys, in dating and stuff, like would you kind of take it a different route, or do you agree with most of like the stuff that's being taught?
So that's kind of a hard question to answer.
I mean, if you haven't taken every course of every person, it's hard for you to know.
That's the thing. Like I know the people that I follow, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's good information, but I don't know anybody outside of that group. So I'm pretty sure that there's guys out. Heck, you know what? There is a guy, but I'm not going to drop his name to give him no clout.
Yeah, no, just if there's like a certain type of prescription that bothers you. Like I'm trying to think of one that like I don't like that I hear all the time. I'm just like, why the fuck are they telling guys to do that?
Yeah, I mean the biggest
guys,
thing,
you can get down on one knee to propose to your girl. I saw somebody arguing about it earlier. Shout out to the Discord.
This guy. I think that the biggest thing, man, it's not really what you ought to do. Okay, I know one. There's a guy, I forget what his name is, but we talked about him. It's a guy that you said you wanted to debate. He's like
Ace Metaphor.
Yeah. Him. He's like, guys, stop talking about women bringing you peace if you're chaotic. This, that, and the third. And I'm like, I think that that's terrible information. Mainly because a guy regardless of where you are on the spectrum, as far as like if you got your shit together or not, you still have a crazy burden of responsibility. You know what I mean? You still have like a burden to like show and
to be more than the woman is in some way.
1,000%.
Working more, doing something more.
1,000%.
Yeah.
And so even if you are, and I'm not saying that you should be this person, but even if you are the person who is somewhat chaotic, right?
The toxic one, maybe.
That doesn't mean that she now has free range to be equally toxic.
Yeah, that is some goofy shit. If he said that, I need to watch that video.
You know what I'm saying?
Fucking crazy.
Or tell a guy you shouldn't ask for peace, because at the end of the day, again, we learn from seeing, right?
Yeah,
a guy can see a woman bring him peace and be like, "Dang, I fucked up." You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that that's like what ought to happen, but I'm just saying like a guy could see a woman bring him peace and be like, dang, you know what? I ought to do better because this, that, and the third. At the end of the day, we're all like, every guy is trying to improve themselves to get women.
Yeah.
Or some type of like respect, something, right?
Yeah.
So if you see a woman who's actually fucking with you and she's like bringing you actual peace, that's gonna make a guy who isn't on this shit be like, you know what, I should probably be on my shit.
Yeah, maybe I should like stay home or like not go out or do whatever. Like,
or like make some money.
Well,
like,
he's gonna make it. He's gonna make it equal in some way, kind of.
Yeah. So I'm not, and again, that's not the ideal thing, like learning from your woman or whatever. But that is something that could happen. So, it's not. I think that's. That guy
Ace was just fucking
like bullshit.
He was just pandering to the women right there because 90% of women are fucking like most women are fucking like the top dudes. So he panders to fucking make all those hoes happy. Like
he's the Derek Jackson of the
I mean
yeah, he's the new Derek Jackson, dude. Like he figured it out.
Yeah, no, dude, it's dude there's that video that I posted the other day and it was like a guy saying, man, women can be able to do whatever they want. You need to be able to queer like queen, do whatever way it's called, blah, blah. And then he's like, all right, cut the video. Oh, they're gonna fucking love that one, bro. Them girls gonna love that shit. Yeah,
Yo,
dude.
he's like, when guys talk like that, it's the equivalent of 21 Savage when he was on the slut walk.
Yeah.
And he had the "I'm her slut" or something
Yeah.
like that. It's that's what it reminds me of. Like when guys talk like that.
Dude,
I'm like,
we need to get like a soundbite that's like panda, 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 panda. That shit's just such a pander, dude. So now I just wanted to talk about something else since this is kind of like what you do for work and stuff. Just investment strategies and stuff. I know that. Why don't you just kind of explain what you do, like your type of investment strategies, and then I'll explain to you all kind of like my investment strategies that are kind of opposite of his.
right. So, I do life insurance and annuities. I know that a lot of people kind of, frown upon the first part, mainly because you don't want to die.
Right? It's not a good thing to think about.
It's not a good thing to think about, right? But the reality is that if you're using these vehicles properly, they can be really good investment vehicles.
Tax free.
Yeah. One of the best things that ever happened to me in my life is when I took when I took 3 classes. I took philosophy, economics, and philosophy, microeconomics, and macroeconomics. When I recognized how the money worked, when I recognized that for every dollar that you deposit into your bank, that bank is taking your money and then sending it to somebody else, loaning it out to them, and then charging them interest. When I recognized that all they're doing is taking my money, lending it out to somebody else, making thousands off of it, and then telling me, get a savings account, we're going to charge you 0.001%. I was like, bullshit. You know what I'm saying? When I recognized that, I was like, it changed the game for me. So this whole time I've been thinking like, man, how do the banks make money? And, life insurance, whole life, UILs, those things are, I said UILs, IULs. Those are the investment vehicles created specifically by banks to protect their money. And so when I recognize that that's what they invest in, I'm like, I might as well go ahead and get into that game, because it seems like there's the top 2 ways to make money as far as like careers are concerned in the world. Not in the world, well, yeah, in the world, but in the United States, definitely, is the financial industry and sales. They're the highest income earners in the United States. Sales and people who do deal with money, right? And so when I recognized that, I'm like, it was an easy sell. Let me go ahead and get into this game right here. So,
yeah, no, life insurance is definitely so necessary for so many people. If you're like in a certain like tax, if you're low income, if you're like in certain positions, guys, there's nothing better for you right now, because if you fucking keeled over tomorrow, everybody would be fucked. Like, who's gonna pay for your fucking like your funerals and shit? There's definitely a lot of people that really need this shit, especially today, because I know if we look at the statistics, most people do not make good money right now. Most people don't even have $1,000 saved in their bank account, and so this is mostly for people like y'all. I know people like y'all watch this shit. So if you're in that type of position, you need something like this. Now I'm gonna give y'all another strategy though. This is something that I learned from my father and I learned from like my mentors and stuff. And this is more if you want to become self-insured, and that's maxing out it's still the same tax. Like you're gonna save from taxes either way, whether you do something like this or you go like my route where you max out your 401k. Once that's max that it can and you get the most contributions as you can, then you can go into your IRA, and then you can also go into HSA if you want. But that's just like my strategy to get to where you're self-insured. So then like if somebody dies or anything like that, you can pay for it all yourself, hopefully. But all it takes is 3, 4, 5 years of you heavily saving into those things, and you shouldn't have to worry about insurance. But a lot of y'all ain't in the fucking position to even do something like that. Y'all need to be fucking getting the insurance right now.
1,000%. And like, I know we kind of debate and argue on this. I think that at the end of the day, both strategies work.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, one's really necessary for one class of people, and one's like for only the top 5-10% sometimes,
Right. And that's the only thing.
And yours can kind of work for both sides though. It can work for the 10% and for the 90%.
1,000%.
So yeah, like mine is the one that only works for people who want to become top 10%ers, kind of.
Yeah. Well, that
most people can't even use
like
it.
the average guys, because at the end of the day, every company, whether you're making $7 an hour or $20 an hour, is gonna put you or try to put you on to a 401k.
Yep.
But I am gonna give y'all some free game real quick, and this is why this vehicle works really well for, especially if you're the type of person who's like real estate investors, realtors, people who kind of make money. But that being said, whenever you have like a whole life insurance, right? all they're doing is taking the money that you've invested in your premium, putting it into man, why did I just forget this term?
They put it into a mutual fund.
No, not a mutual fund. Bonds.
Oh
There it
yeah.
is. They put it into bonds, and that gains interest.
Yeah.
Right now, once it gains interest, they take a percentage of that, and they reinvest the interest only into call options.
Mhm.
Right now, let's say that your call option hits. They take 75 to 80% of that earnings, and they put it back into your investment. Right now, this is why like people like Donald Trump, Robert Kiyosaki, and all these guys love these vehicles, because when you reinvest it, you're winning, right? However, if the market's going down like it is right now, because you get into it with a set percentage, it never goes below that percentage. So you can only go up. You can only gain, like, let's say that your cap is 10%. You can gain 10%, but you can never lose any money, because all they're doing is reinvesting the interest, what you've gained through the investment, but never your principal or your premium. So this is why these guys love doing this stuff, because as far as like safe havens are concerned, this is like the top. This is a safe haven designed by banks after the Depression for protecting their money.
To protect their own shit. Yeah.
Exactly. So all they're doing is taking their money, putting it into these vehicles that are tax deferred. They're never taking the money out. All they're doing is loaning themselves the money from the policy. And if you know anything about loans, you can't get taxed on a loan because it's not earned income.
Yep.
Right. So you're loaning yourself the money, and then you're just repeating the process.
Mhm.
So that's what these guys are doing with these vehicles, and this is why a lot of these guys are going. What's his name? Graham Stephan.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those guys, the financial YouTuber guys, Graham Stephan, my name's Kevin and stuff like that. A lot of those guys, that's how they made a lot. Like people don't know that they weren't just rich when they got into the game. They were like talking rich, and then they became rich.
They were doing a lot of other stuff.
They were doing a lot of other stuff, and that's kind of what happened. You
especially
super
like
chatted in
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you super chatted in. YouTube gave them checks. They reinvested it into these vehicles, real estate, life insurance. I don't know if they have 401ks because I never hear them talk about it, but pretty sure they.
Stefan is like actually very huge on that type of stuff. Stefan's like the greatest guru on YouTube, bro.
Which Stephen Graham? You think so?
Yeah, or Graham Stephan.
Graham Stephan.
Yeah,
I think that dude's a crook, man. After the
I haven't watched him in a long time, but I used to love his videos.
Yeah,
I just don't like that. I just don't like that every 2 or 3 days he's like, the market's gonna crash. Like his thumbnails, like the market's gonna crash.
He's a fear porn guy. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that's just what they all. To me, it's just like, oh, he did it again. Like,
yeah,
fucking YouTubers.
So when FTX was doing his thing, he wasn't on that fear porn. He was like, FTX is the best thing
Oh,
ever.
dude, yeah, I was really bothered by a lot of the people that jumped on the FTX train, but it's just because money talks, you know, like fucking.
They were getting checks, you just didn't know it.
Yeah, yeah, and guys, just another thing, I don't ever give out this sauce, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it out. Y'all need to start, if you have a lot of extra income and you're already maxing out on everything that's tax deferred or anything like that, you can easily buy and sell options. I'll teach y'all exactly what to do. You just literally YouTube the wheel method. It's the method that everybody fucking does. If you go pay for fucking Moneyberg's fucking investing program, he's literally just gonna teach you how to do the fucking wheel method on selling options. It's literally the easiest thing in the world to do. All you got to do is download Tasty Trade, only use Tasty Trade, start watching Tasty Trade every day on their live stream so you can learn how to do everything through fucking the platform teachers, the guys who made the platform. And then through that, like, you can literally learn one of the safest ways for you to always make money no matter how the economy is doing. Selling options and doing the wheel strategy is massive. Now, right now, it's a little bit harder to do because you only like to do it in a bull market usually, but it still works in a bear market. Like, as you were saying, like, people are still selling options and still making money.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so in a bull market, you're doing the call options. In a bear market, you're doing the puts.
Yeah, well, it's just for the wheel strategy. So the wheel strategy, just to explain it to y'all, the way the wheel strategy works is first you're selling puts, and then once you get to a certain point, and then once they get taken away, then you're going to start, or once you have to have them, because you're going to have to claim them after somebody takes that option, you're going to have to start selling calls on that option because now those are your shares. Mm-hmm. And then you make money off of that until somebody takes that away from you, and then they take those shares from you, and then you restart and do it all over again. Mm-hmm. It's the only strategy that everybody fucking does. Just look it up on YouTube, and it's the easiest thing. It's a little complicated, but once you get it down, it's not that fucking hard. Mm-hmm. And but that's how you make money. Like Moneyberg would always talk about how, like when oils is up, he's not hurting because he's selling options on oil. That's the type of things that you do whenever you're selling. Like Like right now, I'm in on. I'll give you all a secret. I'm in on nuclear right now. But there's just different people that like to wheel different things depending on what is good at the time. If get into Reddit and get into all the different subreddits for it, y'all will
Yeah.
see people talking about it all the time.
Just don't listen to. I'm not gonna say that.
Like
Be
Graham?
careful of Graham. Yeah, be
Oh
careful.
yeah, well
Only-
he doesn't talk about options, so you don't have to worry about.
Well, I mean,
Graham on
trading in
options.
general. Only reason why I don't like these guys because, again, you have guys who will give financial advice and they'll make it sound so good because at the time everything's going up, so you can't
Yeah.
miss, right? But what happens when the economy starts going down?
It's like the crypto guys right now.
Exactly. Like everybody understands buy low, sell high, but nobody understands shorting the market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like one of the guys I actually listen to, his name is Dekmar Trades. He's really good on that. Like he brings other people in who specialize in shorts, and they're like, okay, well, the economy's down, or S&P 500 is down like 5%. These are the companies who are going to be having bad news as a result of like COVID or whatever's going. Like perfect example, if you were a person who was following what's going on with Bud Light, right, and you were in the market, excuse me. You were in the market. What you could have done on Monday of last week, I don't know if anybody's been following that, but what you could have done Monday of last week, you could have said, you know what, I'm going to wait this out. Tuesday, Bud Light's down 2%. Wednesday, Bud Light's down 3%. Thursday, they've lost $5 billion, right?
Yeah.
You could have been like, you know what, I think I'm going to short this stock right here.
Yep. But nope, most people aren't doing it usually. Yeah.
Most people, no, and not worse yet. A lot of people would have thought to themselves, oh, this is the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and buy right here, buy low, and sell high.
Yep.
Not knowing that it's going to go down another billion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just so everybody understands, like the way that the market works, the way money, everything works. We already understand how fucking money's printed and shit. The big thing that how it works is you watch the Fed. Everything is all based off the Fed. The only time I ever have to get on Reddit to look at investment advice is every 3 to 4 months whenever the Fed meets to change the interest rate. That's the only time that you ever have to pay attention to anything. And that's whenever you know we're going to keep going up or we're going to keep going down. That's all you look at. People overcomplicate it and try to say it's all this other stuff. It's not that complicated. It's literally just that one thing that you watch. And anybody that's a big trader will tell you that's all they pay attention to. Like there's very few things that you end up paying attention to once you really learn all the information. And also, guys, another big thing. A lot of people get really confused, especially with y'all's own 401k policies with your own business or with your own company. Y'all need to make sure that whenever it's set up, usually by default they're set up really bad where it's giving like 1% or 0.5% or these different things to these different funds, and you want it all in the S&P 500, especially if you're young. If you're young, you need to be putting everything in the S&P 500, maybe a little bit like 10% or 20% into something else like international, but for the most part you want all into the S&P right now while you can. Like my father did everything in the S&P for 30 years and he's way more successful than most people are today. It's one of the best. It's always been the greatest thing. If you look at it historically for 100 years, there's never been anything else to put everything into. It's very simple. Sometimes it's a little bit complicated getting it set up for your 401k. You might have to Google some shit, but figure it out and make sure it's all going into the S&P. That's all that fucking matters. Same for the IRA, same for the HSA. Sometimes I change up on those because I like to trade and I like to play with different types of options, like different ones that like actually sell like sell calls and stuff like that. But for the most part, guys, it's best to stick with what fucking works.
100%. And you'll never beat the market. Nobody's ever beat the market.
Never. Stop. It's gambling, guys. If y'all get into wanting to like doing the trades on stuff, I've done it. I did it for years. It's gambling. It's no different than playing the casino. If you want to go flip a coin just go bet on red or black. Like it's literally like the same fucking shit as the stock market going up or down sometimes. So unless you're like really sure or you're I used to not even I stopped trading until I was shadow trading. Like I literally started shadowing people like the stock guy and people that were like known streamers that you could see a history of them making money. And I would shadow with them. And that's the best thing to do, honestly. Like you sitting there trying to do your own TA and shit, it's fucking stupid. It's really not worth it when there's people who have 20 years experience that you can follow.
Like 5 o'clock in the morning, all that
it's
stuff,
not worth it. It's really not. So, guys, I want to also talk about how to negotiate. I think that there's a problem today, and I want you to kind of talk about negotiating in like a business way because you're so good at networking and talking to guys and proving your value to guys. I'm going to explain to y'all kind of what I mean by my level of negotiation. A big thing that I'm really crazy about is when you go somewhere asking for a discount, guys. Every time you save $1, you make $1. Y'all should be trying very hard whenever you're buying cars, when you're buying anything for cash, especially cash, to be talking that shit down. It's a huge deal today, and most people don't make a habit out of it. But if you make a habit out of this, where every single thing you do this, you will save so much money over your entire life. It is a massive thing that most people don't do, but it's going to change your life. How would you say somebody can negotiate better, for like networking though, or like get as best as they can in that type of negotiation?
Well, every negotiation has a value exchange, right?
Mm.
You have to, first of all, you have to know who you're in front of. And then you also have to have value that they want, right? So a lot of people kind of go and mess up in as much as they assume that this person wants this. And so I'm going to try to pitch this to this person. One of my mentors, he put it like this: whenever he talks to a person, whenever he's uh, meeting with the client, he does his research on the person. He'll go onto the LinkedIn, he'll see who they work for. He'll go into the company profile. He'll see what their biggest issues are, what their earnings reports were, things of that nature, right? And then he'll go and say, "This is how I can help."
Okay.
Right? So that's kind of what you want to do. You want to observe.
You can't go in blind.
You can't go in blind. You can't go in just trying to shoot from the hip, because people
will judge you off of that shit.
Yeah, they're gonna know. Some people are gonna notice it. Some people aren't. But at the end of the day, when it comes to time to actually negotiate something, at best you'll get a friend. At worst, you'll get somebody who's like, I'll move on to something.
Yeah, but yeah, you're not going to ever be able to sell anybody on anything and negotiate anything if you don't know anything about them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to use a little bit of stuff against them, probably, like their own shit against them.
Well, they have to know. Again, they have to know, one, that you know what you're talking about, and then two, that you can actually deliver on the thing that you're gonna that you say you can deliver on.
Yeah.
And that's just, at the end of the day, what it is. If you go to a person, you say, well. Excuse me. If you go to a person, you say, "Well, I saw that you guys have this, this, this." They're going to be like, "Oh, dang, you did your research."
Yeah.
Right. That's gonna.
It shows that you have interest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah, you're more likely to get way ahead when you do something like that.
Yeah.
Guys, something that I just wanted to kind of talk about, just another like little free game thing before we close it out, unless Donnie and you have anything else that y'all wanted to add. Buy land right now. It's something that's a really big deal. Nobody's doing it, but a lot of people are starting to do it. But if you want to like jump on the train, buy land right now. Money does grow on trees, guys. Over the next 5 to 10, 15 years, our land in Texas is about to become very fucking valuable, especially in East Texas where there's black soil. I'm talking about big time, especially like weed legalization does anything. There's big things coming to this state. Anybody that wants to prepare for the future, that's something that you should be looking at. Even if you work a shitty job and you only make $30,000 to $50,000 a year, you can go invest in land. You can go buy some property, some acres somewhere, and it's not even going to be that much. It's a savings account. It is literally a savings account. And if you can get ag land, get something that hasn't been changed yet, because if it's ag land, the taxes are fucking
He's
cheap.
talking about agriculture.
Yes, it's very, very cheap land. Basically, it's getting land to where the taxes are as cheap as possible. It's gonna be where there's cows, or where there's like really far away out where there's farms and
Some
shit
type
like
of
that.
livestock,
Yeah. But guys, I cannot express to y'all enough that like I have a lot of friends that are like big investors, and that's what they're doing right now. They're buying up everything in fucking Texas that they can. But yeah, is there anything else that you would give advice on to investment advice or anything?
So honestly, it's gonna be, so in reference to the land or any type of real estate. It's really, at the end of the day, it's a money game, right? So not everybody's gonna be able to afford that, but if you have a group of guys, that's what you ought to be doing. And I think that's like the biggest thing that people, if you want to take anything away, you want to take away the idea that if you have many people in a group working together, then you all can win.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just by yourself trying to pull everybody along, you're gonna lose. One of my one thing that I noticed, one of my guys, I used to work with, he's Indian, and what he did, he told me a story. Him and his brother bought a house when they were like maybe 22, 23. They were both in sales, so they bought a house together. He got married. They moved his wife into the house. It was like a 8-bedroom house or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah, it was a crazy big house. But they moved. He got married. His wife moved into the house. So now there's 3 people. His brother got married. Now there's 4 people. Right. By themselves, it would have been a pretty expensive house.
Mm-hmm.
But together, having that house is very affordable,
Mm-hmm.
right? And in selling that house, they make 3 times what they initially invested in.
Jesus
You know what I'm saying?
Christ.
He's Indian. I started recognizing, like, man, I'm living over here. and I live in a pretty good community. There's like Indians, white people, black people. You know, there's a lot of Indians. Just
Very
because
cultured.
Yeah, because it's close to a college that specializes in tech, right?
Okay.
So I started noticing. I'm like, man, it's like 6 people up in this house, right? And I'm like, dang, what the heck are they doing? And you know, I'm looking around. I'm like, man, these dudes are buying cars. They doing this, that, and the third.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, okay, I get what's going on. All they're doing is sharing expenses,
Yeah.
right? And they're
Literally.
driving really nice cars, like BMWs, Maseratis. You know what I'm saying? Not
Mhm.
like the Ghiblis, the 20,000. I forget what the name is, but it's like a $50,000 car. They're buying really good cars, right? And all they're doing is sharing expenses.
Yep.
Right. And so that's the biggest takeaway for guys. It's not, you don't have to go at this thing alone. If you want to actually come up, you want to do it in a group
With brothers.
With brothers. That's the easiest way to go about doing it.
Yeah.
And I know that most people kind of worry about, well, what if you know, this person tries to take money, whatever. This is where you design contracts for everybody to win. You'd have the hard conversation that, hey,
And also
we're all gonna win.
like discern with the men that you would do something like that with. Like,
Yeah,
it's like you want to make sure it's not one of the ones that's gonna fall out after a few years. You know, like they can't
1,000%.
they can't be the like the weak link of the 5 group or something. You know.
1,000%. Like one of my guys, he built a contract where, with his partner, with his business partner, if anybody decides that they want to leave, that's fine. You just have to pay out this amount of money, and then you go.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's and I mean, like, if you decide that if I have, let's say I have real estate, we buy a house together, right?
Mhm.
If you decide that you want to go on to a different venture, you don't want to manage this house anymore, you can do 2 things. All right, write up a new contract, or let's add make an addition to this contract to where I get a percentage of the earnings. I'm not going to be working as much with the property, but I still want to make money off of it. So we can do that, or just write me a check.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So those are the things that you want to be able to do with your brothers. But the only way you get started, not the only way, but one of the primary ways that you get started is by having people who have resources, people who are reliable. If everybody's broke but you have a 700 credit score, there's no reason that both of y'all can't go in on a property.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
literally like fresh in
Yeah,
my
it's really
story.
I don't think people understand. It's really not that like my friend who just came up. He bought a $50,000 property. He just sold it for 85,
Mm-hmm.
and now he took that 85 and he went and bought 2 new properties for
Mhm.
like 35, and the other one was like 50. And like, but those in just a few years they might like go up even more or double or something. Like, you really don't need a crazy income to just go get a $50,000 loan, guys. Like, it just depends like what size you're kind of going for, kind of.
Mhm.
Like, if you're trying to go big, yeah, you need guys. You definitely need to go in.
You need a group of guys, because again, you can do it alone.
And it's
It's
just a
gonna
big
take longer.
savings account between all of y'all.
Right? Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah,
pretty
yeah. No,
much,
it's like a 401k together.
Mhm.
Donnie, did you have anything?
Loves that 401k.
Any questions or
man.
anything?
No, we got a super chat though.
Yeah, let me check it out. $5 from G Complex. What are your thoughts on dividend paying stocks and index funds? Okay, I see. That's what I was saying. I kind of do like diversify with, like, I'll be honest, with my IRA, I do fuck with some dividend stocks. I'm just very obsessed with it. I like dividends if you get in early enough.
Mhm.
If you either you get in super early, like a kid that's 18 to 21 starting a saving journey, sometimes getting in with dividends early as fuck is fucking amazing. And then also very late getting into dividends. Say like you already have $3-4 million and you want to put it all into dividends, so then you just start getting a check every month or every 3 months or every year off of whatever dividend you choose. There's some really good dividend. I think SCHD is what I'm in right now, and yeah, I love SCHD, bro. There's nothing better. Literally, go look it up. There's nothing better than SCHD. It's just what everybody goes into. I think it's a every 3-month dividend payout. The best index funds is obviously S&P 500 all day long. Nobody's ever going to touch anything on the S&P. It's always been the winner for a fucking reason. But yeah, is there anything else? You got anything else you want to say, bro? No.
Nah, follow me on all platforms.
Yeah, go follow me,
on
guys.
TikTok, Instagram. Call me goods. If you want financial advice, go ahead and hit me up in my DMs. If you want to learn how to make some money on a side hustle, hit me up there. If you want to know how to dress better, because that's really the number one thing most dudes don't know how to do, hit me up there. Got an ebook coming out, all that good stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, fashion. Yeah, right here, guys. But no, thank y'all so much, guys. If y'all need any of my coaching, y'all know it's down there in the link. I'm always free. Thank you, Donnie, so much, bro. I really appreciate you. Guys, we will see y'all on what is today? Monday. I'll see y'all,
Wednesday.
guys. Actually, I'm gonna try to do a morning show tomorrow, guys. I gotta take care of some stuff and pick up my daughter, but I'm gonna try to swing by and like do a little morning show with y'all. So hopefully, I'll see y'all tomorrow in the morning, guys. If anybody wants to come through, I'm just gonna be talking some shit on the internet. It's gonna be fun. I'll see y'all then, though. Peace out, guys.
Peace.
What? Toodaloo, motherfucker. Hey,